but I'm still grinning, and the money ain't run out yet, so I do believe I'm winning. For all the mess I was, am and will be continuing, and the fun is only beginning. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Hello and welcome to Don't Bury the Lead. We recap WWE SmackDown every Saturday night, and tonight's Saturday, so we're recapping it. My name's John Zindel. I'm joined by Dom Scarcella. Dom, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself.
John, it's great to be back doing Don't Bury the Lead again. And you know what? There's somebody who's back on SmackDown for us to cheer for, I think. So without further ado, John, don't bury the lead. What's our top story from SmackDown for August 15th, 2025?
Dom, we don't ever bury the lead. And the lead is the main event of the show. A 6-man tag match, a 3-on-3. It is the MFT, which is Solo Sikoa and friends, versus Sami Zayn, Jacob Fatu, and Jimmy Uso. Basically, people that don't like the MFT that are thrown together. And Sami Zayn picks up the win over the champ, the U.S. champ, Solo Sikoa. And big win for Sami Zayn, who you have alluded to on your introduction here, is now looking to be a part of the SmackDown roster. Dom, what do you think of this main event? Clean finish, clean win for Sami Zayn, Jacob Fatu, and Jimmy Uso.
This is 2 SmackDowns in a row where Sami Zayn avoids the spike and rolls up Solo Sikoa for a clean pinfall, despite the numbers advantage for Solo Sikoa and his My Family Tree, the MFT. I thought it was a fun match. They teased a little bit of animosity between Jacob Fatu and Sami Zayn, which for some reason didn't carry over to Jimmy Uso, because they're basically the same. I mean, last time Jacob Fatu in War Games was against Roman Reigns' team, which had Sami and Jimmy on it. But apparently Jacob and Jimmy, they're brothers, but Jacob, he doesn't quite like Sami. Well, by the end of this match, they worked well enough together and they got the victory. And then there's Jimmy Uso brokering a little piece. So it's Sami Zayn and Jacob Fatu giving the hand slap and the hug. Makes it interesting that there's now more than one prime candidate to go after Solo Sikoa's U.S. championship. Which is good, because I didn't want to see them just keep running back again and again, Jacob Fatu, like we'll get to a little later in the show. It seems like they're doing with Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. They have nothing else to do, so they just keep running the same opponent back for them with the same outcome over and over again. So this is fun. Other than Gunther, I can't think of anybody else that we've missed because they've been on Raw for a couple of years that I'd like to see back on SmackDown than Sami Zayn. So I'm pleased with all of the developments. It was a fun match. They also teased a little bit of Tonga being dejected because there's 4 guys in My Family Tree. He was the one who was not officially part of the match. He was on the outside and eventually got taken out by Jacob Fatu. But they were also teasing a little bit of some of the guys sulking when they're not in the spotlight. So lots of little details thrown in this one. I don't know if you wanted to get into match spots yet, but just as an overview of the match, I think this says a lot to some good developments on SmackDown. Match goes about 11, 12 minutes or so, maybe been a commercial break in there. So they gave him plenty of time. I liked it.
Yeah, totally agreed. I like the match. Anytime you just get a match in the main event, I know I sound like a broken record, but I just like having a match.
Yep.
And I thought this one was fun. It wasn't too They didn't give him a ton of time to go, but I think they made a lot of their minutes.
Yep.
And I am going to steal some of your breakdowns that you typically have with Sami Zayn, but you've pointed this out to me in the past, and I'm starting to notice it. His ability to sell is like really uncanny at this point, which is just the ability for him to look like he's just getting thrown around like a rag doll. They even mentioned it on the commentators did mention like he's hung over like a rag doll, and Solo's got him up in the corner, and he's just like dead, right? So just different aspects of the way that he sells are really good. So I'm definitely looking forward to having Sami Zayn on SmackDown, because that's what we watch every Friday night.
Yes.
Saturday morning, really, when we steal it illegally. Don't tell WWE. Then we got, Jacob Fatu with the hot tag. He might be like one of the best people in the company to get a hot tag, right? Because he's just a bowling ball of a pro wrestler. He just does the big spots, and he's got a ton of them, and they're super believable. And he's just like a giant linebacker going in there, right? He's super explosive and moves so well for a big guy. And I like his 10 headbutts, which I love the 10 punches, and instead he does the headbutts instead, right? Yeah.
People like to count. You've said that.
The people love counting, and I was a fan of his hot tag here. How about you? What'd you think of the match?
I thought it was a fun match, although I also want to bring up that Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, when they squared off, they looked really even, as if they could have another good match down the road somewhere. But for the time being, I don't want to see Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa every week. So it's good that there's some new rivals for him. We're almost forgetting Jimmy Uso here. He's very serviceable, no matter what they ask him to do. If they ask him to be the guy who gets beat down a lot, the guy who takes a hot tag, the guy who just does a dive and takes people out on the outside, Jimmy Uso is very serviceable. He's a good character. Both he and Jay have become really, really set in their role in WWE, no matter what it is. Jay's gotten a more singles push, especially over on Raw. But they look like they've gotten to that point in their careers where they can be the veterans who can do just whatever WWE needs. And it's good to see Jimmy Uso be able to do that.
Yeah.
Solo Sikoa does a lot of that as well, which is surprising because he's a much younger wrestler and newer to the main roster. Like he's ahead of the curve. So a lot of star power in this main event. And I think Solo Sikoa is doing a good job of bringing along the guys in the MFT. Like they're able to play off of him.
Yes.
In a way that you don't need Tala Tonga to be on the mic all the time. You don't need Tonga Loa to be on the mic. You don't need JC Mateo to be on the mic. They just have to play off of Solo Sikoa. And in fact, it was Jacob Fatu giving him too many opportunities that made people say, hey, wait a minute, this guy shouldn't be in the faction. He should be a solo star out on his own.
Yes. Right? It is interesting, too, that it is like Solo Sikoa and friends.
Yep.
And he can play that lead, and he's been doing it for a while, and he's now without Heyman, now just on his own.
Yep.
I think he's strong. He's done well with the role. The other guys are just kind of other guys, except for Romero. Is it JT Romero? What's his name?
JC Mateo.
JC Mateo.
Jeff Cobb.
Yeah. Jeff Cobb. He's
they say former Olympian. Do you remember him at all? Was he a wrestler in the Olympics, a power lifter? What was he?
I want to say he was at least a skilled wrestler. I don't know that he made.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm not sure about that. I think he was a real like wrestler.
He seems like it. It's as if he's put on weight post amateur wrestling, sort of like Otis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. But he still has that athleticism and that agility that there's like a spectacular athlete underneath that roly-poly image.
Yeah. Oh, he made
And he
it
does
for.
have a win over LA Knight, like everybody else in the MFT.
It looks like he at least made it to the
Okay.
Olympics. And
He's a great athlete.
yeah, exactly. Which means great athlete, right? He made it to Olympics from the wrestling standpoint. Wasn't like a Kurt Angle, gold medalist, super stud. But yeah, it really and from the look of his build, it looks like he just started eating after the Olympics and just hey, he's still got that natural athleticism and
Yeah.
he's just
Once you're
hammering.
out of the intense training, your metabolism changes, and maybe your other habits don't catch up to it. And then suddenly you look around and you're like, "Oh, I've put on some weight." But under there's still that agility and that explosiveness with the muscles. And yeah, so he looks like a great athlete.
There's bigger guys that are just, heavy and that's it.
Yep.
Not to be mean, but like Jelly Roll, not a great athletic performance from him. Whereas Jeff Cobb is like, yeah, you could see it's
Yep.
all there.
Tala
Yeah.
Tonga has the size, and Tongaloa, he and Tamatanga, who's still injured. It's like the two brothers traded injuries. Like the Tongaloa was out for a long time.
Yeah.
He came back. Tamatanga went on the shelf. So
yeah, they're getting a little unlucky with the injury bug there, trying to get like a good solid tag team between the two of them going.
it's a good thing that, as your better half was saying, how many people are in this family?
They have so many backups.
They could just like pull in another relative. It's like, okay, next man up. Here we go. Come on.
Totally. All right.
Good match. I think a good main event, and they set it up during the show. Like you had no idea this was the main event until you started watching the show. The opening segment, Solo and the MFTs in the ring talking about everybody they stomped out, incorrectly claiming that they had stomped out Sami Zayn because they beat him up on Raw. But again, Sami had gotten the win on SmackDown. That brought out Sami to say, "Look, I'm on SmackDown now. So I've got more things to do other than just keep talking about and being obsessed with becoming a world champion."
Mm-hmm.
And that brought out eventually Jimmy Uso, brought out eventually Jacob Fatu, brings out Nick Aldis to make the main event. So this was the kind of thing where if you hadn't seen a SmackDown in a couple of weeks and you just showed up tonight, they introduced everything you would need with the two pieces of bread here for the sandwich that you would need for knowing what was going on in the main event. So it's a good television putting together there in the 2-hour frame. I like it. I like how they did it. It's a good thing for us to be recapping after a week off. So very good. I don't have much more else to say about the match unless you had some really cool spots you wanted to do.
No, I think that's it for the match. Maybe just the front end here with Sami Zayn. He got a big pop in Boston for sure.
He did.
So good. I mean, he's just over as a face, and he's been over for years, and he's just a very reliable veteran at this point. Yep. So I think that's the lead, but we had plenty more show here on SmackDown. So maybe I'll pick the first match.
Sure.
And I'll go ahead and say it's my match of the night.
Hey.
Carmelo Hayes and The Miz together against Praxium.
Yes.
This was a good match. I liked it a lot. I liked some of the storytelling stuff involved with it. But Carmelo Hayes and The Miz get a win. I have a good amount of notes to chat about here as far as this match, but what you think of this one, Dom? Praxium
I'm very
Carmelo
impressed
Hayes
with how the men's tag team division on SmackDown has shaped up the last few months. Lots of talent. Anybody you put in the ring, there's a top tier of, I don't know if it's like half a dozen teams where whichever two teams you put in the ring, they can put on an entertaining match. I mean, there's very few that I'd be afraid of, like maybe Motor City Machine Guns versus Praxium would be too homogenous, too much of the same stuff. Yeah. But any other combination, it's a lot of fun. The Miz and Carmelo Hayes, the Mellow Don't Miz tag team, has the extra wrinkle where it's like the Miz trying to be the mentor and trying to make Carmelo Hayes his protege, and Carmelo Hayes being lukewarm on that. Like, I want to do more. You see, it seems to be all about you. You know, I'm a star. I'm the guy on the rise here. And to that, you mentioned them picking up the win. Mello was setting up his top turnbuckle move, but Miz blind tagged himself in and hit a skull crushing finale on poor Nathan Frazier, who was basically out of it at that point. So the Miz winds up getting the pinfall as Carmelo Hayes is sitting on the top rope looking like, what just happened?
Right. Yeah.
They got the win, but you know, what's with the chemistry there with these two? Well, what else do you like? You called this match of the night, so there's got to be a lot more that you're liking from Miz and Carmelo Hayes versus Nathan Frazier and Axiom.
Dom, we have griped about this, and they have listened.
Okay.
Heels not getting along.
Right.
Bad people that are supposed to be playing bad people, antagonists, heels, not being able to be on the same page with each other because they're both interested in their own careers.
Yep.
Which is what you would expect from heels.
Yep.
So I love it. Instead of them being well-oiled machines that work together so well, just them not getting along it's so funny because we've always joked about it, and then they are finally wising up to it. I don't know.
Whenever the heels are thrown together, it's two guys who aren't really a team, and they just throw them together. And it's like, oh wow, they get along perfectly. They're both so deferential to each other. But so yeah, go ahead.
They do the spot where they corner the people and they tag in, and then they're like are working so well, and they have them in the corner and they're working the face. It's like this is just good teamwork. You know, yeah. This isn't like, oh, they're such heels. It's like, no, they're working well together. But now there's some heat between the two of them, which is good, and it adds
blind tags, like as if like they're not on the same page, like you were saying. Like one guy's trying to go for more of the glory in the spotlight. He gets a little too close to his own corner, which is supposed to be the safe area, and his partner just like hits him on the shoulder. It's like, I'm in now. It's like. And they look at each other like, what are you doing?
I like the Miz doing the Lucha Libre with the Lucha fella from
Axiom.
Axiom is his name, since they just combined their two names. Okay. So Axiom doing the Lucha Libre with him. I like that he's able to kind of switch up from his style and then start to do some of the Lucha stuff with him. And I mean, Miz is a pretty damn good worker.
Yes.
And I do have like very silly thing to point out. Frazier is very fast. I'm not usually a huge jump off the like guys that hit the ropes thing, but the speed at which he does it is pretty crazy. Like he might run the quickest ropes of anyone in the WWE. So he at least has that going for him, right? Where it's like, oh, that's the guy that runs the ropes really fast.
If they had a 100-meter dash between all the WWE wrestlers, you're probably going Nathan Frazier. Maybe Braun Breaker would come in second there despite his size.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some of these guys are fast. To your point about some of the styles in the ring, Frazier following Carmelo Hayes onto the ropes, and Mello was going for his springboard cutter, it looked like, or that big kick that he does off the springboard. I think it was Frazier who followed him into the ropes and wound up doing a springboard Spanish fly. That's a tough move off the top rope, but to do it from even a lower height on the rope, and especially with the rope kind of giving a little bit, that's an impressive move. They did it safely. They both flipped completely over. Good looking move. The timing was there. It's one of the things I always wonder about when you do these really intricate, involved moves that require timing is I don't think I've seen these guys wrestle before as a tag team versus each other. So that's impressive when you see guys who just click with each other very well in the ring and can do some of these high complexity spots. There's high impact spots that just look like they're enormous impact. This is a high complexity spot, and all the parts worked well. I enjoyed this.
Totally. And let's see here. We got one more thing.
Okay, from this match, very
that
good.
I kind of want to give a couple minuses to. It's a
Okay.
dive train. This is what they called it, the dive train, where they had too many dives here. I said, not so hot on that, but a cool ending and finish to the match with the Miz and Carmelo Hayes. But yeah, that's kind of all I had for this one, and I thought it was with the match of the night. How about you? What did anything
I do
else?
want to call out a couple of other spots that I like. Fraxium hit their combination top turnbuckle moves. The Miz broke up the pinfall attempt, and in one motion hit a tornado DDT on Axiom.
Yeah, I wrote that as a great save.
Right, a great save, and it's like you were bringing up before, the Miz's ability to switch styles. You've basically got 3 really lightweight luchadors in there from a professional wrestling standpoint. It's like from a human being standpoint, they're all enormous people. But from a pro wrestling standpoint, Nathan Frazier, Axiom, Carmelo Hayes, light heavyweights.
Yeah.
And the Miz is able to do some of their style. I also liked Fraxium again going for a double team maneuver on Mello up on the turnbuckles. Miz pulls Axiom down, hit a really creative brain buster.
Yeah.
Where Miz dropped all the way to the floor and brain busted Axiom on the ring apron. And again, another high complexity spot that was really well done by everybody involved.
Brainbuster's complicated, right?
Go ahead. Say it.
The Brainbuster is pretty complicated.
It's complicated when you do that because it's easier if you're both gonna land in the same level of the arena, like in the ring together or on the mats outside together, because you know how to protect the guy as you're going down to the mat. But this is just kind of approximate how high is it from the ring to the floor, and how high is that on my body? And I don't want to have the guy way too high because then it looks like it's not a brain buster. I also don't want to have him too low because I don't want to risk actually hitting him on the apron. So that again, that's an extra level of complexity. Like we're not landing in the same level of the equipment. And that was really well done. That's something that a real pro needs to do. It's not something you give your amateur who's never done it before.
Totally.
And kudos to the Miz for that. I like this. I like this tag team with Mello and Miz. I like their interactions. I like that they're both heels separately, who the Miz is trying to maybe ride Carmelo Hayes to some extra glory for himself. Carmelo Hayes is wondering what's in it for me. This guy's hogging the spotlight. They played it up a little later. Carmelo Hayes wanted a U.S. title shot. And the Miz came over and instead was like, hey, I think what my friend here wants to say is we need a tag team title shot soon. And Melo's looking like, no, that's not what I was saying. And Nick Aldis winds up giving them a match against the Motor City Machine Guns to see if they can climb up the tag team ladder. And Miz is like all happy about it. And Melo's like, I came here looking for something else. And now he got me into something that I didn't want to do again,
Right.
So there's layers to it. They're not just throwing it out there like they're throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks. They seem committed to the shtick.
Totally.
I like when people commit to the characters.
Yeah, and I did like that segment where they went backstage and Miz was saying that's what he wanted, but I think that's not what he wanted. But then he just kind of rolled with it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next match here. Do you want to pick the next one?
We were talking about how great the men's tag team division is on SmackDown. What may have been my match tonight was DIY versus Street Profits. It was kind of a coin flip between the two men's tag team matches. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano versus Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Each of them had their valet there, Candice LeRae and B-Fab, who wound up getting into it somewhat. But all said and done, it winds up with a clean finish. Montez Ford gains the advantage on Ciampa, tags in Dawkins, who hits a spine buster on Ciampa. Tez hits a top turn splash, and Dawkins, who's still the legal man, covers Tommaso Ciampa for the pinfall. So Tommaso Ciampa takes the pinfall clean. He's a guy who can do that every now and then and not look weak just because he looks like he's a stiff worker in there.
Yeah.
And so when he gets beat, he also sells it kind of real.
Mhm.
I like the intensity from Ciampa.
Oh, for sure.
Like
He's got-
Gargano sometimes look like he's doing a little too much comedy, but
yeah.
Ciampa looks intense. He looks like he's had way too much caffeine. He's got to ease up on that before the matches. Stop, mainlining Red Bull before it's your turn to get out there. But it works when he's in the ring. So go ahead. What do you say about this match?
I love so just Ciampa. I love the look, and I do agree a little bit with your Gargano Ciampa take, where like Gargano sometimes just looks like a guy in there, and he does like the little goofies, which is a good contrast with Ciampa, which he just looks like a bad dude, right?
Yep.
He looks like he so I think he's in really great shape, and it looks like he isn't just wildly, let's say, on steroids or enhanced. It looks like he's actually pretty athletic, with the size. And then being naturally bald like that and with a giant beard, you're like, yeah, that's like pro wrestling look, right? Like nobody else really looks like that on the roster either, which is interesting.
Yes, it used to be more common, especially it was a heel thing. I want to say that so back in the old days when they were still playing up the Cold War, like maybe Ivan Koloff was like that, Nikita Koloff.
Oh, right.
They were like that. Maybe one of the Putskis was like that as well.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a throwback look, right?
It is. It's a throwback look. Yeah. To your description that you're given, DIY is a mullet. Tommaso Ciampa is business in the front. Johnny Gargano is party in the back.
There you go. They're the mullet team. But they have the contrast at least too, which is better than having two of the same exact guys, right?
And the mullet is the most clutch of all the hairstyles. And, they have been champions before. They're a pretty clutch tag team.
Right. I did want to say one thing about the match. Sure. I saw BFAB get involved, and I was like, you know what? Good for BFAB, because it was not looking good for her a couple years ago when she was with Top Dollar and that terrible group.
Yes, Hit Row with
Hit Row.
Yep.
Who Top Dollar's gone. I believe I forget the other guy. I don't even know what happened to him.
Adonis. He was on the shelf for a while. He was recently non-tendered as well.
Yeah.
So I think his contract expires. Yeah. Yeah. BFAB got a little bit of a singles push. She was in a tag team for a while with Mishin, but I think bringing her back now with Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, it's good for her. And it makes sense in this one because Candice LeRae always gets involved with DIY.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that happened today. Like Candice LeRae threw BFAB into the ring steps. And later on, BFAB got her back when Candice LeRae was trying to interfere in the match itself. So that worked too. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Right. And I'm happy that she's in. And then, sorry, go ahead. Any more spots from this match that you had?
They were playing up on the announce table that Johnny Gargano had a throat injury from the last big ladder match they had or something. And he was icing his throat. So at one point in this, Gargano claims he got hit in the throat by Montez Ford. The ref goes to check on him. That's when Candice LeRae comes over, runs across the apron, Frankensteiner's Montez Ford onto Angelo Dawkins on the floor. And then Gargano slides out, throws Montez Ford back in the ring, hits a springboard DDT, only gets a 2 count from it. So kudos to Candice LeRae for doing a running Frankensteiner off the apron. And kudos to Montez Ford for selling that move perfectly.
Yeah, they usually don't do a lot of men on women contact stuff, right?
No.
They try to avoid that for good reason, probably. But
well, it's very sexist in a way. The women are allowed to beat up the men and interfere, but the men can't interfere with the women.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. This should be
So it's like it's like old time chivalry, political correctness, but it's like it's kind of a double standard, isn't it?
if a
You
woman's
expect like the bros online to be harping about this, like, oh, come the men can't beat up the women. It's like, calm down there. Let's take a step back here. I do like that the women can get involved and okay hit the men, but I accept that the men can't hit the women. I prefer it that way too.
yeah, I know. Yeah, there are certain sections of the internet that say, we should be allowed to hit her. But like I do have to say, I like Candice LeRae with them. That's a good fit for her, and then BFAB involved too. So, anything else from this match? Sorry.
Let's see here. Tez hitting the standing moonsault on Ciampa for a 2 count. I mean, he's so athletic, Montez Ford.
Yeah.
I think they joked at one point when he did a top turnbuckle splash or something. They were saying, "Oh, he almost reached Larry Bird's retired jersey in the rafters." And
Always,
there's Wade Barrett saying, "Do it again and grab it. I'll put it on eBay."
always the hometown cheap heat, right?
Right.
Local sports team has done this.
Yes. Well, I mean, to be fair, they're in the TD Garden, which to us old-time sports fans is the old Boston Garden. There are a few more historic sports venues in the world, in the country, than the old Boston Garden. I mean, Madison Square Garden, that might be it.
MSG, yeah. I mean, for sure. They're not exactly like talking about the Arizona Coyotes or something like that. It's a real iconic.
Like some brand new stadium built for like some expansion team somewhere. Yes.
Right. Utah or something. It seems to be that's like the newer city that has the expansion teams. Anyways, I'm already burying the show because I'm just talking about expansion teams. But I wanted to say
quite all right.
I wanted to say one thing about this tag match.
I went on a tangent about mullets. Go ahead.
These are all short fodder. It's perfect. It's all about the YouTube shorts at this point. So we give our Ricochet Memorial Award every year for the loser that makes like somebody that continues to lose but has good matches.
Mm-hmm.
There may have to be a slot for a tag team this year because the men's tag team has been so prevalent. Mm-hmm. I almost feel like I've seen more tag stuff on SmackDown than single stuff at times, right? So I was just thinking like how they've built out that division and they have been patient and developed it, right? Mm-hmm. And they do have a bunch of teams now, which is before it was always just like, oh, it's the Usos, they're the champs, and then they're just going to squash someone and they're just part of the bloodline, right?
Lightning round, name the current men's tag team champions on SmackDown.
The current tag team champs? Oh my God, I don't even know.
It's the Wyatt Six, Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy, who were shown up in the mezzanine level during one of these matches with their belts just kind of ominously looking on.
When did they win it? Probably just a giant
I want to say, did they win it during the big 6-team ladder match?
They must have.
In which Candice LeRae took the worst bump of anybody during that match while she was trying to get involved on behalf of DIY. I think the whole left side of her upper leg is still bruised.
Was that a SummerSlam or probably not?
Was it SummerSlam when they had the big ladder match?
That couldn't have been SummerSlam.
Big I would have remembered. SummerSlam a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. I guess
the men's tag team division on SmackDown was left off of the WrestleMania card. So the SmackDown right after WrestleMania, they had what may have been match of the year there.
Yeah.
Which was a tables, ladders, and chairs match for the belts. So they made sure to get them onto the premium live event for SummerSlam. And they had another just, if you like that kind of car crash type of match where there's too many people to keep track of, and there's stuff in the ring, and there's stuff breaking, and then, oh my goodness, there's Candice LeRae just flying onto a ladder. That was it. So yes, it may have been there that they won it, or they won it earlier and retained at SummerSlam. But there's been a few title changes, but with this many quality tag teams, I'm not too disappointed with. I don't think it's hot potato when you have a lot of good teams available. Like, what I don't like is what they did years ago, where they would just trade the belt back and forth on the women's side between Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks.
Right. Yeah.
They're just handing it back and forth to each other, just to kind of up Charlotte's number of reigns. You're like, that to me is like hot potatoing for no reason. But I think the fact that Motor City Machine Guns have had the belt, DIY have had the belts, Montez Ford and
Street
Angelo
Profits,
Dawkins have
yeah.
had the belts, and now Gacy and Loomis have the belts, and they're all worthy of it.
My last memory was the Street Profits having it, but it makes sense that they lost it in some giant match where they didn't get pinned. So it's like indistinctive who the champ is. But yes, hopefully they probably just pick one of those teams and they run with them for a little bit rather than going back and forth. But yeah,
I don't know. When there's this many great teams, I think you have to have that element of this title could really switch hands at any time.
They haven't made anyone
turning it into the workhorse. Remember, we've always seen that there's some sort of workhorse on the weekly television show who wrestles with a belt. It was Gunther with the IC title. It was LA Knight with the US Championship. Now it's turning into the men's tag team title holder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's cool.
Like, we still haven't seen Julia defend the women's US belt on a SmackDown. Did she do it once maybe and we missed it?
Yeah,
so it looks like the men's tag team belt is the thing that gets defended a lot. And if that's the case, and if there's a lot of really good teams who are worthy of being on that level, I think the idea going into watching the match, this belt could change hands.
Right. Dom, we have one more match, and maybe you can take it away for us here. Well, I kind of
mentioned one of these people just now. I mentioned Charlotte Flair. She was on the outside cheering on her tag team partner, Alexa Bliss. They are the women's tag team champions at the moment, facing Piper Niven, who was accompanied by Chelsea Green and her secret Hervis stablemate, Alba Fire. Piper Niven versus Alexa Bliss. Piper Niven getting the better of the most of this match until Alexa Bliss turns it around. Everyone tried to get involved on the outside. Alexa avoids a charge into the corner by Piper Niven, rolls up the bigger wrestler for the pinfall. This match went about 8 minutes. Lots of action in it for an opening match. It was a fun match. It wasn't like 5 stars or anything, but it was fun. It had a lot of extracurricular stuff on the outside. Charlotte Flair got involved on behalf of her We're Not Friends tag team partner, Alexa Bliss there. At the end, after the match, Charlotte Flair almost cleared the ring of the heels, but the numbers game eventually overran the tag team champions. Piper Niven doing some nostalgic stuff, and I'm glad that Wade Barrett was calling it out from the color commentary booth there. Piper Niven hits the Boss Man Slam, if you remember the big Boss Man from the old WWF, and later hit a shoulder breaker that Wade Barrett referred to as a Papa Shango style shoulder breaker. Some of you may remember Papa Shango from the 80s and 90s. I think during the Attitude Era, he became, who was the pimp? The Pimpin' Ain't Easy guy, the Godfather? But when he was Papa Shango, he used to do this shoulder breaker move. Piper Niven hit the Papa Shango shoulder breaker on Alexa Bliss. Got a 2 count out of it. Good stuff. Alexa Bliss does a good job of working from underneath. She's getting beat up most of the match. At one point, Piper Niven takes too long setting up the cannonball charge into the corner. Alexa Bliss avoids it, gets up and starts with the quick strikes, the kicks, hits that blockbuster neck breaker for a 2 count. Eventually, Alexa Bliss after getting beat down again, avoids that second turnbuckle splash that Piper Niven does. It's a lot like Nia Jax's Annihilator, but instead of turning it into the drop down sumo squat, Piper Niven gets a little more extension from the corner into a splash. Piper misses that as Alexa Bliss rolls towards the corner, and that's after that leads into the ending schmaz on the outside, and Alexa Bliss gets the roll up there. Neat stuff. It furthers the fact that Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are getting along. It's the most interesting thing character-wise that Charlotte Flair has been involved in that I can remember. It's fantastic. And the fact that she's doing it not in the world title picture is even better. I think it's better when the A-list performers can be interesting and get involved in angles with other wrestlers without having to chase the one big title at the end there. I think it's also good for the other wrestlers. I think it elevates them. It's also really good for Charlotte Flair, I think, because I'm still wondering if she's back to really being Charlotte Flair after that devastating multifaceted knee injury of hers.
Yeah.
That maybe being in a tag team is better for her physically, at
This
least
has been
for the time being.
very refreshing, actually. And it's so crazy it might work kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
right.
I think that Charlotte needed some sort of reboot.
Yep.
And she's been kind of stale, and then they tried to turn her face, and then they wanted her, and then she yelled at the crowd, and then they turned her heel, but the crowd wasn't really even receptive to that. And I think just kind of starting over, saying, hey, she's a great worker. We've seen her in WrestleMania wrestle with people. Just starting over, try something different, try to be in the tag team, be a tag team champ with Alexa Bliss, who's another veteran, and just see what we can do here is a better idea. Now, I know she's getting paid a lot of money, so I think they want her to be on that high level, but whatever she can contribute, it might make more sense for for her to kind of move toward that direction where she could just contribute, right?
And I think this is high level. I mean, she's on TV. She's on premium live events. She's in the championship picture. It's not the world title, but it's the championship picture. She's doing good work. I mean, I think they're getting their money's worth. This may be the most money's worth they've gotten out of Charlotte Flair in the sense that she's interesting and the crowd's into her, and they can run her out. They can run her out there week after week, and the crowd is glad to see her.
Yeah. Versus
Because she was going this, she was doing this trajectory where they would bring her back. She would get the huge pop because, oh, she's back and she's a star. And then she would go very quickly from cheers to boos. They would turn her heel, but it wasn't really heel heat. It was go home heat.
Yeah.
And then they would wonder what to do with her.
Right. Yeah, it was all very confusing, and she's always been so big, but I think a lot of people just like, yeah, she's just Flair's daughter, and she always just wins for some reason. So
yeah, and this is the first time they're doing something other than, oh yeah, she's the Nature Boy's daughter.
And it's really interesting too, because I've seen some behind the scenes stuff with her, and she's really cool when she's like talking to all the guys, and she doesn't act like that at all on camera. And it's like, why isn't she acting like this person who she is backstage? Why does she have this facade that's not that entertaining? It's not really that believable. And then she acts like this backstage. It's like, hello, just do that.
Yeah, she's the opposite of the person who's all flamboyant when they get on camera, and then behind the scenes are like really quiet introverts or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like she seems to have a personality, and then like they put her on camera, and it's like they're just throwing wet blankets on her.
Yeah, they're like, go try to be like your dad, kind of. Just woo a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. And she's not that person at all. You can see she's nothing like her dad, so she just looks like him. She's not like him, though.
You mentioned the Ricochet Memorial Award. I think everybody in the Secret Service is nominated. They're very enjoyable whenever they're on the screen. They're not getting a lot of wins, although Chelsea Green did have the inaugural U.S. title reign there for the women. But they're all fantastic whenever they're on screen.
Yeah, I like what Piper Niven's done, and I like what's going to happen to her in the future with her and Chelsea. Although I don't want to break them up because they're too good together. You know, with Chelsea Green and her, they keep the ball rolling, right? Like before, she
Yes.
was just her buddy. Then now she's in the Hervis. Like Chelsea Green seems to have like a million ideas and a lot of charisma, and so does and Piper's got a lot of charisma too. So they're
Yep.
just like they play off each other so well,
Hmm.
especially with the body types. You know, it's such a
Yes.
unique dynamic.
Yep. And Piper Niven's another one of those wrestlers who the bulky frame belies the fact that she does have some agility there.
Yes,
I
exactly.
mean, she does those cannonball moves in the corner. Like a lot of the men do those just running hip checks. Piper Niven does the full cannonball into the corner.
Yeah, she can do no, she definitely is deceivingly athletic
Mhm.
with her build. But anyways, that's
Those are the matches. We got 4 matches on a 2-hour SmackDown, and none of them were squashes, and none of them were like 3-minute jobs or whatever, or
no.
wound up in a DQ. So we got 4 solid matches that took up a lot of TV time.
Yeah, I liked it. The only other thing is Drew McIntyre coming out and shooting a promo,
Yes.
saying he felt sorry for Cody, which I really liked the way he delivered that line.
Yep.
Because that just is like, you know what? I don't even dislike Cody. I feel sorry for him. Like he's lesser than him. You know. So from Drew McIntyre's mouth, he really delivered the line. I didn't hit it as well. I'm not a giant Scottish man with a sword in my hand. So
You don't have the accent and the
I don't-
accoutrements, yeah.
It's something I couldn't pull off, but he can. Yeah, that magical accent, the Scottish accent.
It just sounds more Middle Earth when it's the Scottish warrior rather than, a couple of guys from South Jersey.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's things that with our accent we really can pull off that a lot of other accents can't, but it's definitely not one-liners like that.
I feel sorry for yous guys.
For you,
I really do. I feel sorry for yous guys.
hey, yo, I feel sorry for these guys.
I feel sorry for that John.
Yeah, definitely yo or John or forget about it.
Forget about it, yous guys.
Any Italian stereotype anything you would hear on the show The Sopranos or any of those Godfather 1, Godfather 2, anything coming from there. Joe Pesci, yeah, that's New Jersey,
Something
right?
from Rocky. Yeah.
Something from Rocky. Yes, all of the ridiculous stereotypes of Italian people. Yeah. But all right, I think that's our show. Do you have anything else to talk about for this one, or are we moving on to the thumb drive?
I don't think so. Maybe we can cover what I'm about to say in the thumb drive. I think we are ready for you and I to distill this wrestling program into a simple thumbs up or a thumbs down. There are no ties. There are also no star ratings, no letter grades, no number grades. School is starting soon. You are taking this course. Pass, fail.
We're not Dave Meltzer. We don't give star ratings. We don't do 7 stars in the Tokyo Dome. We don't do 2 stars at the TD Garden in Boston. No. No star ratings. Just a simple thumbs up, the show was good, or thumbs down, the show was bad. So, Dom, are you ready?
I am.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh, 2 thumbs up. Dom, why'd you give this show a thumbs up?
I gave this show a thumbs up because we got 4 good matches in a 2-hour program. They got the backstage stuff into the show that they needed to without letting that drag on too long at the expense of matches. It wasn't too long ago that I gave thumbs down to a 3-hour SmackDown in which we got 3 matches because there were just matches that were thrown out, DQs. We got 3 matches in a 3-hour SmackDown. Tonight, we got 4 good matches, no squashes, no DQs, nothing thrown out, no 2-minute jobs in a 2-hour SmackDown. if this is going to be the framework, I'm all for it going forward. I like how this show was put together. I like the fact that we got great wrestling action for a TV show. I mean, it wasn't pay-per-view quality, but for your 2-hour episodic weekly television show, I can't really complain about anything on this program.
Yeah. Thumbs up, and I'm going to tell you why. The 2-hour show over the 3-hour show, I have had to grade on a curve, or I was just going to keep giving thumbs down for the 3-hour show. It was brutal, the 3-hour shows, because we always said, oh, do they have enough? Like where, the 3-hour shows, oh, do they have enough? Or is there extra stuff that we're missing out on? Maybe we see a little bit more of Prince Pretty. Pretty Deadly, rather. Prince Pretty. Pretty Deadly. Stuff like that. Like, because we weren't seeing them a lot and we liked them. Turns out they did not, because the 3-hour shows turned into, oh, let's do more talking segments and filler segments. And it was just filler and talking segments and talking about how great they're doing. They always do like a segment about how great WWE is. You're like, okay. And it got to be to a point where it was tough. The 3-hour show was tough. I started to not watch one of the hours, and I would just watch 2 of the hours and then judge that. Now with a 2-hour show, I could watch it. I liked it. I had a good time. Thumbs up. That's simple. I'm really digging the 2-hour show.
It's easier to be forgiving when it's a 2-hour show rather than a 3-hour show, right?
When it's a 3-hour show, it's got to be good. And if it's not good, then you're just like, ugh. Yeah, it's easier to be forgiving. If it's not good, you're just like, when is this going to be over? I have another hour of this,
Right.
Yeah. All right.
I believe as you have changed over the full audio video live stream here that we are doing. By the way, wherever you are watching the live stream tonight, head on over to YouTube, where you can find Don't Bury the Lead, a wrestling channel. Subscribe there. Help us hit our next benchmark, climb that next mountain. We are over 1,100 subscribers. Find our full archive of live streams and the shorter videos that, John, that you edit together from these larger shows, the hashtag shorts that are under 60 seconds as well. Everything is there. Like what you like. Leave us a comment if you're so motivated to do so and have something on your mind you want to share. The more the merrier. We like the company. We like talking to each other, but we like the company as well. And speaking of company, there's someone on my screen there, and yours, and everybody viewing along with us here. It's time for Cheap Heat, isn't it?
Dom, it's time for Cheap Heat. Cheap Heat is when we talk about trending topics in the wrestling world from WWE, AEW, and other parts of the internet wrestling world. We have created this segment, and essentially we created it to make shorter videos and to talk about trending topics. We cut those up, we put them up on our YouTube channel, and it has gotten us to a point where we're monetized. We're at 1,160 subscribers. We just hit over 800,000 views. We're monetized, which is a huge landmark for any small YouTube creator. So thank you to those that tune in, that watch these videos. And there's a couple people here today on I could see on YouTube. So thank you for joining in. Feel free to chat with us too as we're going through this. All chats are welcome. But enough about us. Dom, what's the first article you have pulled up here?
We're talking some wrestling finance behind the scenes, and don't start, thinking, oh, this is going to be a snooze fest. No. Don't bury the business side of pro wrestling. WWE, new contract with ESPN to stream WrestleMania and other premium live events. This is coming to us from ESPN's website, where, as you could see, Paul Levesque was appearing on their Get Up show. WrestleMania will be part of ESPN's new direct-to-consumer streaming service starting in 2026, thanks to an agreement between World Wrestling Entertainment and ESPN. WrestleMania, SummerSlam, other WWE Premium Live events will now be on ESPN streaming service. So it looks like ESPN direct-to-consumer platform is replacing Peacock, which is where I was watching WWE Premium Live events. Big news. We'll get to a little bit more on ESPN and to something else involving WWE's parent company up next. But what do you think of this? We are proud to reinforce the E in ESPN. Of course, ESPN is not, as one of their old commercials said, and that sports in Spanish. It is not. It stands for Entertainment Sports Network. We are proud to reinforce the E in ESPN at such an exciting juncture in its direct-to-consumer journey. Mark Shapiro, president and chief operating officer of TKO, said in a statement. So this is huge. ESPN will launch its streaming service August 21st, $30 a month price point. It's a lot of money. They're now getting WWE events who, as we said, were previously on Peacock in 2025 and years previous. What do you make of this move here to ESPN, which is under the ABC Disney, I think, unless they've spun them off again?
No, it is under Disney. ESPN is owned by Disney. And from my perspective, this is a bummer.
Me too.
Just independently, me and you, we had a sweet gig with Peacock. What was it, $7 a month?
Yeah, and if you're in this area of the country, if Comcast is headquartered in Philadelphia, so if you were a Comcast streaming customer, they threw in Peacock Premium as part of it.
Yeah, right. And then you're right. I have it for free. I accidentally paid for it
for free. Yeah,
I accidentally paid for it once, and then I didn't realize I had it for free. So that's what happened. So, and even when I paid for it, it was $7. Now we're going to $30 a month. Are you like that's a big jump.
That is.
And the thing is, I am not going to watch whatever garbage is on ESPN. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to watch SportsCenter. I don't care. Nobody else. Everything's on YouTube that I want to watch.
Yep.
And
I don't want to hear their 1001 rehashing opinion shows where they're trying to just sensationalize things.
Is LeBron James the GOAT, or is it Michael Jordan next?
Yes.
Is it now LeBron because he did this? Oh my God! All day long, every day.
It was
every
like
night.
First Take, Pardon the Interruption, all these different things. Eventually Dave Portnoy made fun of it with his show Pardon My Take.
Right, which was a parody.
But then again, it was like it was just another one of those shows.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just like one of those shows where he knew he probably could just do it for free on YouTube, and guess what? People will watch it because it's free on YouTube.
Peacock arrangement with WWE was great because I don't really watch Peacock.
No.
But if it's there for WWE once a month for the premium live event, I will watch it for that.
Yeah, and I think it's what people were doing. So there wasn't a lot of crossover for me either. I'd only watch it for wrestling and then not watch it. But it was cheap enough, even if I didn't have Comcast. But $7 a month. All right, that's fair.
Yep.
$30 a month though. Dom.
I had a special offer where the first time I paid for it before they were just throwing it in with that Xfinity, because I had been a Comcast customer for so many years, they said, if you want to take advantage of this promotion, you can get it for 99 cents a month. And I'm like, well, especially during the fall when I'm watching Sunday Night Football, that's like 20 or 25 cents per football game, and I'd get the wrestling for free.
Yeah.
On top of it. So I don't know about ESPN now, but this is going to be interesting for Don't Bury the Lead land here.
Well, I got some news for you. Get your VPNs ready, baby. I
Right?
think they have some sort of weird thing in the UK right now where they're like holding back. It's something along the lines of like you have to give your ID or something like that in order to access these different websites. Like you have to like give them your ID if they're over 18, something goofy like this.
Okay.
Don't quote me on it, but so people are getting VPNs to say they're in different parts of the country, so they don't have to
Of
do
course.
that. And then we're probably going to get VPNs to say like, oh, I'm in Mexico City actually. Yes, I would like the ESPN package for $7 or $5. Or we just wait the next day and get it off Daily Motion. I'm not paying $30 a month.
That too. I wonder if the Netflix deal is still in play where Netflix carries the premium live events for international audiences, so not US based,
Mm-hmm.
because they just signed a multi-billion-dollar, multi-year contract with Netflix as well. Good morning, Fixer.
Yeah, a bit busy at work, so he couldn't be helped. All right.
Good morning to you there. We may be pretending to be British in the very near future, Fixer.
Yes, we're talking in great detail about are using a VPN to go over to Britain to get cheaper WWE, because it's now gone from $0 a month for pay-per-views to 30 on our end.
For the
So
ESPN streaming service starting in 2026. At the same time this was going on, TKO's other property, UFC, is leaving ESPN streaming and the pay-per-view model. $7.7 billion deal with Paramount and CBS.
mhm.
Starting in 2026, all of the UFC numbered premium live events are moving to the same model that their sibling company WWE has been doing for a few years now. This is something else. I am also covering this on the Sunday Buffet for August 17th, along with a little pushback here. But
Oh, nice.
just wanted to point this out. That here's Mark Shapiro again commenting on this. Commenting on how wonderful it is to be involved with ESPN. And then, TKO's negotiating to leave ESPN. Like, it's so wonderful to be involved on another format with Paramount CBS now. It's like, I think his promos are scripted for him, and he's just got to get out there and deliver them when the camera's on.
It is hilarious that he's like, oh, it's so happy to be working with ESPN, and they take their biggest their biggest cash cow, UFC, and they move it right off ESPN.
$80 per pay-per-view for UFC. You need to sign up for ESPN streaming service just to have the opportunity to spend an additional $79.99.
I think the pay-per-view buys were getting low and people were stealing them, and they're like, we got to just get a streaming service.
Yes, so they're now going, especially with Paramount now joining forces with Skydance Media in a merger completed last month. This deal is for the entirety of the UFC's U.S. broadcast rights. It came together in about 2 days, 48 hours. Dana White was also saying that this surprised him. Like he's involved more with the product. And so he just hears about what the business side TV broadcast negotiations going on. Now, instead of just 30 UFC Fight Night events per year, Paramount Plus will feature all UFC content, including the 13 numbered UFC events each this year. We're getting the brand, we're getting the reach, and they'll get the sign-up, Shapiro said, of Paramount streaming service. This also means Paramount will be the home for all of these things, but they could also air on CBS. It was important for us to have CBS play a big component in this. As they laid this out, CBS will have simulcast on many of the fights. This is almost like Saturday night's main event with NBC, where as part of that big deal that the WWE had with Peacock NBC, Comcast NBC, is that they would do some free over-the-airwaves broadcasts with the old traditional standby broadcast network, NBC. It looks like CBS is cut into this deal a little bit here. They were saying that revenues for ESPN, like you saying, were decreasing in recent years. The fact is going to be part of a deal that will essentially double the roughly $550 million per year that the UFC currently receives from ESPN. So, like you said, it's going down, which meant that maybe ESPN was going to want to renegotiate that deal if it came up.
Yeah. Because they're
So
not getting the money
TKO
they
said, let's not even get into that contentiousness, especially since we just played nice with each other for WWE properties. Let's just get a better deal somewhere else. It looks like almost like what they did to USA Network. They took
Yeah.
Raw off of that to make the Netflix deal. So when it was pretty clear to them that Fox was not going to re-up for SmackDown, they just negotiated with USA to take over SmackDown as they were losing Raw. So TKO is trying to make nice with as many partners as it can.
Yeah. And they're doing it in a way that people are they're gonna get more money because Paramount needs something. Like,
Yes.
it's not an app that has anything. And
Yep.
CBS is they're desperate, basically. They're desperate. They have the NFL, which they pay a ton of money, right? And they need sports. So they're like, UFC, like we're gonna be the home of the UFC. We'll put matches on for free on CBS. We'll have a lot of people will sign up to Paramount Plus, and maybe there's a TV show in there that they'll like, you know?
How many spin-off, reboot, prequel, sequel, Star Trek series written by overgrown toddlers can you possibly have, Paramount? Here's something else. UFC.
UFC.
Shapiro also said the pay-per-view model is a thing of the past. Maybe a little premature since you have 4.5 more months of pay-per-views, Mr. Shapiro, that still have to run.
Whoops.
What's on pay-per-view anymore? Boxing, movies on DirecTV? Yeah, nothing except stuff that people want to watch. So it may not work for your business model anymore, but it doesn't mean it doesn't work for anybody's business model. Good for UFC, good for TKO, good for ESPN, good for Paramount, good for WWE. A lot of moving parts here, but everybody seemed to have gotten something that each entity wanted out of all of these various negotiations across the TKO properties. On that, I wanted to bring up TNA is now open to moving and opposing AEW as part of their media rights discussions. We've talked about AEW in the past and their great contracts that they are signing with, what is it, Max streaming, as well as being on Turner broadcast on cable TV.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing so much more. TNA is now looking to have weekly live programming that may go up against AEW. The takedown on SI, this comes to us from SI.com, has been closely monitoring the situation. Last month, TNA President Carlos Silva indicated that the company was evaluating the rights at an average annual value between 7 and 10 million. So they're not in the billions, they're in the millions. But that's something, considering what this was here. August is not typically a newsworthy period for media rights, but it is this month, and they're looking out where could TNA land. It looks like currently the CW hosts WWE NXT on Tuesdays, but they're looking something like AEW, the CW, something that gets TNA's ties to WWE, makes it easier for them to negotiate.
Yes, and I will have to say one thing. Consider the source. This is coming from Dave Meltzer.
Some of it is Meltzer, some of it is Silva being quoted.
Yeah.
The takedown on SI has indicated that CWA's interest is legitimate. Some WWE stakeholders would like TNA to be part of the network.
I thought that's what was going to happen, that they would buy out TNA.
And that brings into, what's better from a business structure, to buy them out completely or to have an arrangement with them where they run themselves, but it's a good farm system and working arrangement.
Yeah, I like the farm. I mean, I think for a wrestling fan, it'd be better if it's a farm system, because so they don't have to necessarily play. Well, they are playing second fiddle, but it's not going to be a WWE product, right?
Yes. Yeah, they have their own title belts, their own characters, their own angles, their own shows that they're putting on. Every now and then there's a crossover with NXT, or the great moment for Joe Hendry against Randy Orton at this most recent WrestleMania 41.
Mhm. I have two
I mean,
things.
I was singing along. I believe in Joe Hendry. That was fantastic. So little things like that are possible, and I think this keeps that on the table as well. But it also shows that I'm happy for TNA if they can get. I'm happy for any time there's enough interest in any of these pro wrestling products for something like this to get signed, because it seems like everybody wins when these things happen, including the wrestlers who work at these promotions.
They'll get paid, right? So two things
Or
are
people looking to get into the business at that level. Go ahead.
sure, like they'll have a livable wage, or hopefully more so livable wage. You know how sometimes these places, like they're handing you a hot dog and a handshake when you're done the matches. So two things I want to talk about. One, with this article specifically, I think this is a goofy kind of a title. The TNA person rep, he said that we could move to any night, and we don't want to think about other wrestling other wrestling entities when we make that move. Basically saying, hey, listen, we're going to pick a night to have our show, and we're not going to think about the competition. We're just going to do it. It's less than him saying, oh, hey, we're going to go after AEW and we're going to take them down and we're going to go head to head with them, right?
On the other hand, it would make sense that they would try and go up against AEW, because if the TNA WWE partnership is as strong as it is, I don't know that they'd want it competing with NXT, with Raw, or with SmackDown. So they're either going to Thursday, where nothing is going on, or they're going to have to pick Wednesday, where everybody that knows anything about big time pro wrestling is going to say, oh, that's AEW, that's Dynamite on Wednesday nights, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, realistically, I think what he's saying is, yeah, we're going to have to move to one of these nights, and we're not paying attention to the competition as a way to kind of keep it open-ended, right?
Yep.
And I think that's more of the savvier business way to say it, rather than like, we're going to come after AEW, or, hey, we're not going to do it. It's like, no, we're going to look at the business, and we're going to make a decision on what night we're going to do based off of our guys, not their guys, right? Which is the best way to respond in like these wrestling wars, if you will.
Silver previously told the Takedown on SI that TNA was hoping to have new media rights lined up around their biggest pay-per-view of the year, Bound for Glory, in October. He indicated that recent movement in deals for WWE and UFC has changed the playing field for TNA and led to more conversations scheduled for later this month, meaning August. There is positive momentum in negotiation. So it's kind of the domino effect here. This is good for other people involved here. So there you go. A lot of wrestling business to talk about. You know, it affects how we see our products.
I had one more thing I wanted to ask you about.
That's right. One more. Go ahead.
So I find it impressive that TNA can get a multi-million-dollar a year deal after being dead in the water about 10 years ago. I mean, completely dead in the water.
Yes.
I don't even know what they bought it from when Dixie Carter, was she the original person running it?
Yes, Panda Energy. They bought it from the Jarretts, and yes.
And it was worth like nothing. And it was just like, it was almost as if though, like, no, this is it. Like, the company's toast. Like, it looked like it was going to go under. And then this company bought it. And, yeah, it's gotten to a point where it's legitimate right now. It's going to get a CW deal, which is amazing considering where they were at. They really scratched and clawed their way from being in big time trouble to, hey, we might start making some money here. So good for TNA.
They've been doing it for more than 20 years at this point.
Crazy. And they
have outlived the WCW era.
Yeah. They're beating WCW if you want to talk about longevity, right?
Yeah. We've talked about in the past that AEW now surpassed WCW Nitro as far as how many weeks in a row they were on TV with their TV program. TNA's been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
AJ Styles was doing this in 2005.
Yeah.
2004.
Right. Hulk Hogan was on there and everything.
Yes, Hogan was there for a while. Sting, Kurt Angle, Jeff Jarrett. Christian Cage was on there for a while. Booker T, Kevin Nash. Lots of these guys bounced back and forth. TNA for a while was a second to WWE wrestling promotion, drawing north of 1 million viewers per weekly episode on cable TV.
Mick Foley.
Mick Foley was there, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Samoa Joe.
Yeah. Samoa Joe was there. Yeah. So they had some guys, and then they just started to fall apart there.
Yep.
But I think it's really impressive that, at the end of the day here, we're able to say, okay, cool. Like TNA looks like it's in better shape. And before we top off this finance topic, I want to go. Can you go back to the first article?
Sure, ESPN, you got it.
So, do you think, because I'm probably going to make a short video about this, so I'm going to edit some stuff in. What do you think from a WWE standpoint, making this transition to ESPN? Do you think this is good for business or bad for business?
ESPN is likely the number one brand name in US-based, North American-based sports. So I don't think it can be a bad move if ESPN is willing to sign that deal.
Yeah.
It does make me think that, the Vince McMahon era was all about saying it's not sports, it's entertainment. They're not wrestlers, they're superstars and divas. It's not sports, it's entertainment. And now, in recent years, especially as many times as guys like Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman have appeared on ESPN's First Take and other Stephen A. Smith programs, he's big into wrestling. So Shannon Sharp. The crossovers with Pat McAfee, who's all over ESPN programming. Cody Rhodes has gone back and forth to ESPN. It seems like WWE is comfortable again publicizing the fact that what they do is very, very athletic and that these guys are athletes.
Yeah.
So I think from an optics standpoint, I like where it's going. As a fan, it makes it more difficult for me to see their product.
Yeah, that's the rough part. All right. Yeah, let's I always wanted to ask you that. What
do you think? Well, answer your own question since you posed it to me first.
You can't.
I'm interested in your answer. What say you?
It's really going to be dependent on two things. How many people are going to put up the $30 a month to watch all the PLEs? Or are people going to just wait for WrestleMania, do that, and then turn it off? Wait for Royal Rumble, do that, and then turn it off. Are they going to pirate it? Are we going to use VPNs? Much like the problem with UFC, everyone was stealing it because it was too high. Now, UFC was like $80. They made you steal it, So is it going to get pirated, or do you think there's going to be a large of enough of a wrestling fan base that's going to commit to paying $30 a month for PLEs? That's the big question.
And the part of the answer to that is ESPN thinks they have enough other programming that makes the $30 price tag worth it for everything that you get in addition to WWE.
But, it's weird. It's wrestling fans, right? And I don't necessarily think that wrestling fans care what's on ESPN. Like, I didn't care what was on Peacock. And
right.
It would be closer if there was like a UFC thing. I think wrestling fans are closer to UFC fans than wrestling fans that are fans of like hot takes from people,
Right. Except from us that don't bury the lead.
All right.
They love us and they're watching us too. We know they're watching us.
Yeah, that's why the heels are fighting each other now when they're in tag team.
Finally acting like heels.
I got a couple here from Fixer before we hop on to the next thing. Sorry. Think I'd rather be American ATM. The UK is up that creek.
I have heard that, and I empathize with you, Fixer. I understand.
Yeah, I've heard that too about the UK. And then, have you covered the Naomi situation?
No, because all I've been able to find are very, very hush-hush rumors. I have no idea what's going on.
Fixer, clue us in, man. Let us know what's going on with Naomi while we
I mean,
go
whenever
through.
it's a female wrestler and they're very hush-hush about it, you always wonder, is she pregnant?
Oh.
But again, there's no information at all. I don't want to be in the habit of spreading my own rumor or just amplifying someone else's rumor. So we have nothing to say about it. I think in a way it worked out well for them because I think they were going to go back to Io Sky Naomi way too quickly on Raw. And I think it works out better if they don't just do that right away.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like there's going to be Io Sky versus maybe a heel turning Asuka at some point, which may be part of an Asuka winding down her career farewell tour of some sort. Right now, she's back with Kairi Sane as the Kabuki Warriors. But yeah, it's been radio silence for the most part on Naomi.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything that's really worth talking about that has any meat on the bone. And it's too bad because just from a wrestling standpoint, she's doing the best work of her career.
Oh, for sure.
They said she wasn't medically cleared, which could be anything. And since it's WWE, it could be totally fake. I don't know.
Right. It also, there have also been people faking injuries, so who knows?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, if she hasn't been medically cleared, it could be that she needs a couple weeks off. Who knows? And she's just fine.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, we'll Fixer, if you want, you could just give us a bunch of rumors and we'll just act like they're truth and then we'll just say them. We'll Dave Meltzer it up out here, baby.
The last time there was a weird medical issue I remember was a couple of years ago when they were supposed to announce LA Knight as John Cena's partner against Solo Sikoa and whoever it was, like Jimmy Uso for that big premium live event tag team. And so LA Knight, though, showed up 1 week to work and they were still doing like those nasal swab COVID tests. And his test came back positive, even though he was fine. So like, oh, we can't put you on TV this week. So they had to delay that angle a week.
Oh, wow.
And it wound up working out for them because it was red hot when LA Knight came out to save John Cena the next week. Like out of nowhere. So that's the last time I remember just like a medical issue that wasn't talked about much, that was resolved within a week. So I have no idea what this means for Naomi.
Moving on here, though, Dom. What's our next topic?
Let's talk AEW again. A former TNA title holder signs with AEW at Collision. So it's happening tonight, which was taped earlier. Do you know anything about Ace Austin?
No.
Have you seen the rumors? You know, he's got his Ace card that he shows there. Here he is being interviewed on AEW backstage. Ace Austin, apparently a pretty hot free agent. Not like a Roman Reigns level guy or something, but as far as guys still early in their career who they think are on the upside, Ace Austin was that guy. Backstage at AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, he was confronted by someone we've mentioned very fondly, King Ricochet. Apparently, Ace Austin in TNA. How is TNA doing these days? The TV deal seems to be working out. It looks like they're building to MJF versus, is it Hangman Adam Page, who currently has the title for them, the world title?
Yeah.
How is AEW doing? Do you know anything about Ace Austin?
AEW's been really good. They had a fantastic All In. It was critically really received well. They had the sold out stadium. It's their biggest in the US stadium sellout because they usually do. They have a huge sellout in the UK. when they run the O2. They had like 70,000 people, which I think is higher than any show WWE did.
In the UK, right?
I think it was actually in all of North America as well. Because
Brother Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant in front of 193,000 people in one of those domes.
No, that was because Meltzer corrected that. It was like, no, that was like 70,000 people. They were just over the number. So, but you know that WWE is going to go do a show there that's going to be huge, and they're going to like get 80,000 or 90,000. So they don't know. So they no longer hold the record. But anyways, yeah, AEW's. I've been watching it since. It's entertaining. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin are fantastic as the Hurt Business. They have kicked MJF out of their group. They all gave him the thumbs down, and yeah, they're just going about their way, just killing everyone.
Sami Zayn in the Bloodline, was that kind of what MJF in the Hurt Business was like?
Exactly.
But it just didn't work out as well. Like Sami in the Bloodline really saved that angle. MJF, was it time to go? Was it not working?
There's a lot of rumors that are floating around. Some of which has said either Bobby Lashley or Shelton Benjamin just didn't like the angle, so they just got him out of it.
Okay.
These are, of course, rumors. It might not have. I thought it was working, but at the same time, like they feel like they should be faces the way that they're wrestling right now, which is tough if you have MJF there, and then also MJF needs to chase. Yeah.
I thought he was beloved.
No, he's hated. He's a heel.
He's back to being a hated heel.
Yeah. So he's the heel, and like they're kind of being heels, but everyone's cheering for them because they're killing everyone. They're taking little flippy guys and they're just like smashing them up against the stairs. And then the whole crowd chants, "We hurt people. We hurt people." Every time they throw one of these little indie wrestlers, they just destroy them, right? And then that's their gimmick. This is Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. They're giant badasses. But yes, anyways, I think MJF's got to chase Cole, or excuse me, yeah, he's got to go chase the title. So it didn't really make a lot of sense for him to play like second fiddle in the Hurt Business as the comedy character gimmick when he's going to be taken seriously as a champ. So I think they were just like, let's just end this. And this way the Hurt Business can be face, MJF go chase the title, and we could say that was interesting, but
better for everybody.
Yeah.
Better for everybody. Okay, there you go. If they are throwing little indie guys around and getting chants from the crowd, I wonder what would happen if Ricky Gibson showed up.
Oh. They would be ultimate heels then.
We heard people could turn into "We want Ricky."
You want Ricky?
That would turn them heel.
We gotta contact Ricky Gibson unironically and be like, "Listen, man, we talk about you all the time. We want you." We talk about you constantly.
It is amazing how many times unplanned your name just comes up. And your appearance that was just gold on that one episode of SmackDown.
Totally gold. And I haven't heard much from him since. He's not like he's been on WWE, and I think he's just in the indies.
Yeah. So very good stuff. Have you heard of Sophie Cunningham, an WNBA player? She's apparently all over social media. She's very popular there. She's kind of a flashpoint, maybe a tweener at this point, if we want to use pro wrestling lingo. Yeah. She apparently has an offer from Women of Wrestling, which is part owned by Jeannie Buss of the Los Angeles Lakers ownership family. A longtime owner of the Lakers was Dr. Jerry Buss. Jeannie is his daughter, who took over after Dr. Jerry Buss passed away. She surprised many when she publicly stated her interest in having Sophie Cunningham compete in a wrestling ring. Well, it seems the Indiana Fever star is open to the idea. While her extra physicality on the court on behalf of teammate Caitlin Clark garnered mixed opinions, she's a tweener. She has a fan in Lakers governor Jeannie Buss. The former NBA team owner also now has an ownership stake in all women's wrestling promotion, WOW. Would love to have Sophie Cunningham join us at World of Women of Wrestling Superheroes. She is talented, dedicated, and a fierce competitor. Sophie Cunningham responded by saying, I thought that tweet was pretty funny. I don't know what will happen with it. I'm just kind of focused on basketball, but it is kind of cool. I've been a lifelong WWE fan for a really long time, ever since we were little, so I think it would be something kind of fun to get into. Jelly Roll did pretty well in his cameo recently for WWE. And in fact, big props to Jelly Roll because he insisted on not going over. He was a guy who said, too many of these celebrities show up and win. Cough, Bad Bunny, cough. Jelly Roll said, no, I'll fight and I'll make it look as good as I can, but I ought to eat that pin, and he did.
No, the worst was the jackass guy, Johnny Knoxville.
Beating
Johnny
Sami
Knoxville
Zayn at WrestleMania.
Beat Sami Zayn, who's supposed to be a very respected pro wrestler in the WWE.
Yes.
Yeah, he lost to him. Clean. Clean. Because it's a weapons match. He held him down with a mouse trap. How corny is that?
It happens. Sami Zayn has gotten over it, though. But Sophie Cunningham, another non-wrestling person who has her own career. She's known for other things, and she's known for being an athlete and for being, as it said here, kind of an enforcer on the team for her teammate, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I think they're trying to use that viral moment of her fighting the girl to be like, or getting physical, to utilize, I guess, the women of wrestling,
It's interesting to me. I mean, anytime there are real athletes who, we find out more and more that there's a lot of athletes who, because they were wrestling fans and they're willing to admit it.
Yeah.
It used to be, don't admit that you're a wrestling fan. Now it's the opposite. Everybody wants to say they're wrestling fans. People want to show up to the arenas and get put on camera. They want to cross-tweet each other or cross-post on Instagram or wherever.
Yeah, we'd have to see how good she performed. Dom, I don't know if you have a minute here, but
yes.
Can you put up my graphic for my rant?
Oh, you want a rant? Oh boy. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Let me find it. Is this just to fill people in? You had mentioned this offhand in your video that is available on the Don't Bury the Lead YouTube channel about LA Knight. You made sort of a Grandpa Simpson reference.
Yeah.
And the old man yells at cloud thing here. So now we've got, is it time for John Yells at Cloud? Are you calling for your one per live stream here?
I'm calling it in.
He's calling it in. He's cashing in his John Yells at Cloud in the bank briefcase.
Okay, Dom. So here's my hot take. Not hot cakes, hot take. So I didn't get a chance to do this. Excuse me. This is not a great start. I didn't get a chance to do this during SummerSlam because we didn't have a show.
Yes.
But I watched Jelly Roll wrestle against Logan Paul, against Randy Orton, and against Drew McIntyre. With Randy Orton against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. And I just have to say, I'm really sick of the WWE bringing in these slob celebrities like Burt Kreischer, who's a big fat slob, super unathletic. He's an alcoholic. He drinks every day. That's his gimmick. Choke slamming Austin Theory. Like, okay, why is he doing that? Then Jelly Roll choke slams Austin Theory again. And it's like, why are these slobs getting this opportunity? Jelly Roll looked like he was selling injuries in there. before he even really got into the ring. He was hobbled while going around and getting into the ring. He's so unathletic and it's so unrealistic to think that he could do any damage to any of these guys. It looked like he was a guy that went into the ring and then was drunk, and then after the show, they do the drunk guys after the shows, when the indie shows will be over, they hit the ring and they do their couple moves. He looked like that in a WWE ring in front of millions of people watching and hundreds of thousands, probably like 20, 30, 40, 50,000 in that arena. Jelly Roll, get out of the WWE and stay out of the WWE, all right? I did not like the performance. I don't like this direction of bringing in somewhat popular music acts that can't work. With Bad Bunny, it worked because he could work. With Logan Paul, it worked because he's an athlete. Jelly Roll sucks. He's not good enough to do it. He should not be out there. He should go sing someone's entrance, maybe have a little bit of a cameo, hit someone with a chair, something dumb like that. Not a full match. Never again. That's my rant. That's my rant, Jelly Roll.
Tell us in the comments, what do you think of that John Yells at Cloud segment there? It is a tough tightrope to walk with celebrities because they do bring in the notoriety. But on the other hand, we were just talking about this with WWE leaning more into being athletic. Like their performers are athletes, real athletes. And when you bring in someone who doesn't measure up athletically, it does kind of show, doesn't it?
It definitely does. And that's
it's
the thing.
tough to hide it.
If you're going to come in, right, and you're not athletic, then it's a non-starter. It doesn't matter how famous they are. Oh, Fixer, thank you. John's not wrong.
There you go. Fixer yells at Cloud. I love it.
I feel vindicated.
There you go. You got 2 thumbs up there. Very good. An excellent John Yells at Cloud segment. Hey, we talked about people faking injuries before. Look who showed up on the Rich Eisen show to guest host. It's The Miz. And he doesn't just walk out, he hobbles out on crutches. Because he said, apparently if you show up on the Rich Eisen show in crutches and fake like you have a knee injury, you'll become a champion. I sent this to you. It was a lot of fun. The Miz is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
He's very polished. You could see why he was selected to be the host of American Gladiators. He is very, very good. He's a celebrity who became a wrestler, who showed that he had the athletic chops. He's a 1 in a million talent.
Yeah.
He was very good in this appearance. Go look for it yourselves. I'm not going to play it for you here. I don't want to strike on the channel. Look for The Miz guest hosting the Rich Eisen show. It was a cool segment. He was there. Also this week, Kyle Brandt posting this on X. Look who's cashing in on Good Morning Football. It's Seth Rollins. He's on Good Morning Football talking football. He still apparently has the briefcase, even though he cashed it in order to get this title that he's holding there, the World Heavyweight Championship. During the show, your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion did some sort of move and split his pants because he insists on wearing way too tight clothing. Not quite as smooth as The Miz, but I did want to point out that apparently Seth Rollins' knee healed miraculously. Look how limber and agile Seth Rollins was in tearing his pants on Good Morning Football. John, what you say to these WWE athletes, superstars, world champions or former world champions getting some mainstream sports opportunities here. Did
Well,
you
that's-
see either one of them? Do you have a favorite?
That's perfect timing for Seth because he is playing heel, so he should be doing stupid things every now and then, right? And splitting your pants on national TV is as dumb as it gets. You know, that's as like embarrassing as it gets. Look at his face. You can see there's a legit
Yes.
embarrassment. He's trying to play it off, but he's not, right?
That was a shoot, not a work. The pants were not tripped earlier and gimmicked to rip for him. If they were, he's a really, really good actor. Like perhaps he was with his fake knee injury.
And then
I need to hear from Dave Meltzer and Sean Ross Sapp. Were these pants gimmicked to rip, or was this a legit fabric injury on Good Morning Football?
I'm sure they'll have an opinion either way. I'm sure they'll for some reason pull something out of the I was talking to him in the back and that's what I heard. It was a shoot or a work. They'll have an opinion.
I don't know, man.
They'll
I don't
find
know
a
what
way
to
to
believe anymore with the WWE.
I wanted to go to the other one with the Miz.
Yes.
Too. Take a step back. The Miz could legit host a late night show and probably outdo most of the guys that are doing it right now. He's wildly polished. He's such a great smartass, and him hosting this show, you know, he might host it better than Rich Eisen does.
Right.
You know, he was like sharper up there, and he looked the part and everything. And you're like, yeah, this guy should host shows.
Yeah, he is very good on camera in front of an audience, communicating with people, tons of charisma. Just oozes it. Where was he discovered? Was it one of those MTV fake reality shows? Was he on
He was on one of the fake reality TV shows, Real World.
Real World. Okay, he was from that. Yeah, that's 20-something years ago, wasn't it?
That was at least 20 years ago, maybe more.
He's been around for a long, long time, and he's still doing excellent work.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's without question the most successful person from the real world. You know?
Yes, right?
It's the only person that really became a celebrity from that.
And he's a guy who, if he stops pro wrestling, which he probably will at some point because it is physically demanding, I mean, he'd be an easy guy to slide into another entertainment sports role like hosting talk shows, being the host of American Gladiator, doing anything like that. He is very polished, very well-spoken, sharp guy, great on camera, great at playing off of people. You know, he's got it all as a personality.
He and his wife, Miz and Maurice, they have a reality TV. I don't know if they still do, but they had a reality TV show on E! Network. So he could probably just keep doing that.
Wow, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. She is a former wrestler herself, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, the Miz is doing well, and Seth Rollins also doing well. I don't know what's up with that sweater. It's August. Nobody else is dressed like it's January. He tore his pants. What's going on? Is this really the leader of the Vision, the world heavyweight champion? Or is this someone cosplaying Steve Urkel? I don't get it. Seth Rollins.
We got this. Miz has been around for almost 20 years. And then Seth's fatal four-way in Clash in Paris, to be honest, I don't see him dropping the title. Ooh.
Yeah, maybe not this soon either, which may be why they're doing it as a fatal four-way, because they don't want to bury either LA Knight or CM Punk or Jey Uso by having them lose one-on-one.
Who do you think takes the pin, Jey Uso or LA Knight?
I don't know. I will right now on my scorecard for our SmackDown Ricochet Memorial Award. First half is LA Knight. Second half is Solo Sikoa. LA Knight ate a lot of defeats.
Yeah. They might just make
Now
him lose
he's
in the
on
middle.
Raw, and I wonder what's going to happen.
I hate to see him eat it.
He
he
already
just-
lost clean to Braun Breaker in their gauntlet match.
Ugh. Yeah. You think CM
No
Punk?
interference from Bronson Reed, nothing. Just lost clean to Braun Breaker in the gauntlet match.
Oh, do you think he pinned CM Punk, Fixer? That'd be something. That would be wild.
Oh, Seth pinning CM Punk. Wow. And that would leave LA Knight and Jey Uso freed
Yeah.
up. Maybe Jey Uso turns heel at some point. I don't know. CM Punk takes the pin. Maybe it's never too early to talk about War Games. I imagine they're building up Seth Rollins' faction for that. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. Who else would they get if they were going to go with the Vision in War Games, and who would they be opposed by? Unless you think Solo Sikoa's MFT is going to be the heel faction in War Games. So never too early to think about bubbling groups that are forming.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's all I got. It's and we had a very special John Yells at Cloud segment in there as well. That was just the coup de grace on the whole thing. Tell me in the comments, did I use the French correctly there, or did I say something completely out of line in another language? At any rate, it fits with what we're doing. It's pathologically frugal. It's unseasonably warm. John, yell at the cloud one more time. What is it?
it's cheap heat.
There you go.
That's that. Cheap heat, baby. And I will be right back, Dom, and I'll keep the chat window open as I think I should show it here as we do the
There you
Italian
go.
goodbye.
I see the chat window. Very good. I see it on my screen. You don't have to put it on the screen if you don't want to.
Okay, cool.
There you go. Very good. MFTs versus the Wyatt Six, a suggestion from the Fixer. Wow. Okay. They were trying to indicate that in the background on the most recent SmackDown that we just covered for August 15th. During a backstage segment featuring Solo Sikoa and his buddies, there was one of the Wyatt members way in the background just kind of looking on there as everybody walked out of the frame. Okay. Is the Wyatt Six high enough up the card to be in War Games? War Games is the Bloodline versus whoever else is in that A storyline. I think War Games has to be the A storyline of the program, either Raw or SmackDown. I don't know that the Wyatt Six is in the A storyline or near it. Frankly, I wonder if the MFTs are going to get back there. The Vision is definitely in the A storyline on Raw. So at the moment, the front runner for the heel faction in War Games is the Vision, because they are clearly the A level storyline on their brand. The question will be, how do they fill out that team, and who would oppose them? Because there isn't a ready-made faction already put together. For the first War Games that they brought back at the end of 2023, it was the heel Bloodline, even though people were cheering for them because they loved what Sami Zayn was doing, versus Sheamus's faction. Sheamus was a former world champion who'd been screwed out of it again by the Bloodline at some point during their run, during Roman Reigns' title run. But it also contained Drew McIntyre, who had been Universal Champion recently, and Kevin Owens, a former Universal Champion as well. So they put together a formidable group of baby faces to face the Bloodline in the A-level storyline there. The next year, 2024, it was Old Bloodline, New Bloodline, which was the A storyline. Roman Reigns, and they even brought in CM Punk for it. So it was A-listers again. The Wyatts, I'm not saying they're not a highly skilled bunch of wrestlers, and I'm not saying that the character angles are not working. I'm just saying there's a lot of work to be done if they are going to be the A-level heels or A-level baby faces, for that matter, in a War Games style match. They could be set up to face the MFTs in something else. Like Solo Sikoa could want Tongaloa and JC Mateo to go after the tag titles. So it could just be the MFTs trying to be belt collectors. It doesn't necessarily have to be planning for War Games. I'm doing a little fantasy booking here and speculating. Who are they trying to prime the pump for with War Games? Another chat came in here. Drew will face Cody in Paris. Yes, that is what they are planning for. That's what they've been hinting at. Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes. Drew McIntyre for the last year has been doing the best work of his career. He is a guy who could take the belt from Cody, but it looks like it would be too soon. Wyatts could become tweeners, especially in that tag team division, where it looks like there's a lot of guys who don't have a clear character arc going on. And so guys who are just good athletes with no character arcs wind up becoming tweeners because it's easy to cheer for the good things they do. On the other hand, if they're in there against very clear baby faces, it's easy to cheer for the baby faces against them. The Wyatts could be the people who are the most well-developed in that tag team division and who become the standard bearers by which everybody else plays off.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Cross could be talking. Oh, that would be great. That would give Tiffany Stratton something. Oh, that would be a cool match. Nikki Cross can work.
Mm-hmm.
She's always been involved in these weird personality things. She can work. Oh, I think that would be a cool match. It would at least be as good as Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill. Yeah, they only gave them 7 minutes for their match because I think they had to have everything planned backstage because neither one of them was going to be caliber enough to call that match in the ring. Yeah, Nikki Cross stalking Tiffany Stratton would be cool. Uncle Howdy was stalking Miz at Motor City Machine Guns. We mentioned that there were members of, it looked like at least Joe Gacy up in the mezzanine of the TD Bank Arena garden there during that Miz Mello tag match. Yes. Yes, so the Wyatts are everywhere. As they should be. They're weird people who lurk in the shadows, and then they are supposed to surprise people, which gets a little more difficult when they have tag team championships. Tough to surprise people when you've got the big shiny gold belts. But they do have those personalities. It'll be interesting to see if they can maintain both of those. Being the behind-the-scenes stalkers while also being the guys that everybody else is gunning for. The guys that everybody else is stalking and keeping an eye on. Fun stuff going on. Something is brewing with the Wyatts. Something is always brewing with the Wyatt Six. But I like the idea of Nikki Cross going after Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
A fun program.
Yeah, that'd be really good actually, because Tiffany needs someone that's good to help her out.
She needs another big personality.
Yeah,
in there with her.
Because what's it go? Charlotte and then Jade.
Went Charlotte. It went Jade. They keep recycling the Nia Jax angle.
I saw that they were trying to do that again which I don't get me wrong, it was that's the best angle she's been in, but
Yes.
you can't just keep doing it.
And it's good matches, but we're turning Nia Jax into the Ricochet Memorial Award winner on the women's side.
Right. It doesn't. She's not going to take it, so it makes it unrealistic. Whereas Nikki Cross might be at least an interesting one, right? I mean, I don't think Nikki's going to take it, but still, Nia Jax isn't.
On the other hand, how great would it be if Nikki Cross puts on a banger of a match with that character she's doing and takes the belt, and the Wyatt Six are running around with the world title, the women's world title?
That'd be getting the Wyatt Six a hell of a push.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it might be what they need, right?
Hey, that might be fun. Yeah, with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss doing the tag team stuff. Could work.
She's kind of running out of opponents, too. It's a shame. You know who her best opponent would be, right? Naomi. Naomi would be a great opponent for Tiffy time.
It would be, because she's such a strong character and doing her best in ring work in a while.
And
if they're doing Crown Jewel the way they did it last year, those two would have been on a collision course where they were doing belts versus belts.
Mm-hmm. They'd be on a collision course.
It would be Naomi Tiffany belt versus belt.
This would be a way better belt versus Naomi Tiffany. Is that what it was? Naomi versus Tiffany, belt versus belt.
If they're doing that again this year, yes. Last year it was Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax, and with a little help from Judgment Day teammates, Liv Morgan won it.
I could see them doing a really good match because they've wrestled together a bunch, kind of in those like ladder matches. And if Naomi does this crazy girl thing, that's a great matchup for the little princess girl that does all the flippy moves. She can brawl with her and kick the hell out of her. And then Tiffy can still be pretty stiff with that Alabama slam. So you can have a really physical matchup between those two,
I hope we see it. If Naomi can keep the belt long enough and Tiffany Stratton can do it as well, that would be a fun matchup if they do the belt versus belt gimmick at Crown Jewel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was when Cody Rhodes beat Gunther. Belt versus belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liv is out through the end of the year, I've heard as well. Liv Morgan.
Oh, well, when she comes back, everyone, it's, even though she was hot when she left, when she does come back.
It'll be a huge pop at the Royal Rumble when her number is called, and it's a big surprise because she's unannounced.
Will she still be with Dom?
Oh, there you go.
That's going to be an interesting dynamic, right?
Roxanne Perez is doing well as her replacement, not only in the tag team, but in the Judgment Day. Roxanne Perez is another recent call-up from NXT who has stepped in pretty cleanly onto the main roster.
And replaced Alexa or Liv Morgan. Was Liv Morgan in the Judgment Day?
She was in Judgment Day. She's the one who brought Raquel Rodriguez in. They were the women's tag team champions until Charlotte and Alexa took it from them.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I see that she's with them now. Dom, I'm going to be honest with you. We've Italian goodbye a lot, but I am tired.
It's been a long week. Tell people about your hurling excursions here, if you will.
Well, I've had a long week. Not only what was more challenging this week is my wife traveled to North Jersey and was traveling for work. So I've been on single dad duty for the last 2-3 days. So that was really hard. I was like waking up super early with the baby, picking him up, just like being with him the whole time and still working. So it was like, pretty time consuming. But then this Friday, I played hurling in our nationals tournament in Philadelphia, which is Malvern technically, which is an hour from Philadelphia, but they called it Philadelphia. We did a tournament 7:30 in the morning, so super early. I'd already been getting up early all week, and I missed out on some sleep. And we ended up losing the first round to Knoxville, Tennessee. And who's the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee?
Is it Glenn Jacobs, the former Kane, and before that, the former legendary Fake Diesel, and before that, the former legendary Isaac Yankem DDS,
Yes.
the evil dentist, the prototype for Britt Baker, who's an actual dentist?
Mm-hmm.
I think he is Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah, Knox County mayor.
There you go. Commissioner or whatever they call it.
Anyways, so Knoxville is a city within Knox County, and then Knoxville is a city within Knox County, and he's the mayor of Knox County.
There you
So
go.
there you go. He's the big cheese there. Anyways, anyways, we lost that match. That was rough, but we did get to go and know that we were eliminated, and we knew we could just hang out afterwards. So we hung out. We watched some other hurling. There's Irish football as well too. It's super, super aggressive. And yeah, we were watching that. We went to the beer garden at 10 a.m. and I had like a beer or two, and I was like, all right, well, it's 10 a.m., so let's not go too crazy here. And I also drove, but the beer garden was a lot of fun. There's like live music and stuff like that. So I ended up leaving, and yeah, here I am. I'm a tired man. I woke up yesterday at 7:30 or at 5 a.m. and I'm trying to catch up on sleep. So I'm sleepy, Dom.
Go.
I'm sleepy.
Now, your team made it to, this was Nationals. This was the Elite Eight of Nationals for your division of hurling.
This is true. I was in the Elite Eight in Junior D developmental hurling.
There you go.
Yeah, but we won. We had beat Philadelphia to qualify to get into nationals, and then we ended up losing. But still a fun time. And as I explained to the people that were moping, I said, "Hey, man, it's gonna be hard to win nationals. There's 8 teams, and really, like, at this age, it's more impressive that we're even winning anything. I'm a 40-year-old man that's overweight. It's impressive that like I could say, oh yeah, my team won a game in something. So, anyways.
On the other hand, it would have been great to see you with the gold again. Another title run.
I believe I sent you the pictures.
Harkening back to Bonsall Street Bomber days in New Jersey Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
I did see the picture of you getting to hold the trophy for winning the region here, South Jersey defeating Philadelphia in the finals there.
Yeah. So I sent you this one.
You looked like you were at your fighting weight. Not your high school wrestling weight. But your Bonsall Street Bomber record-setting title reign in NJCW weight.
This one's really good too. I'll have
back when you were a real athlete.
This is
Folks, pro wrestling is real.
Here you go. Ready? This is a little bit more realistic. Let's see if it comes through.
That is very, very bright. Okay, there's you. Are you drinking out of the trophy?
I'm drinking beer out of the trophy. That is more Bonsall Street Bomber.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and thank you, Fixer. Come on, it's all about taking part and avoiding injuries. Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, pleasure talking with you. Fixer, always a pleasure for you to hop in. Really appreciate it, man. You'll have to tell us more about the UK and what the problems are. I'm very interested in that. So if you ever want to just start typing in the comments what's wrong with the UK, you let us know.
Do you know anything about hurling? Tell us in the comments, anybody. Do you? And I don't mean like puking because you drank too much in college. I mean the sport of hurling.
We want to know. Dom, thanks so much for joining tonight. A pleasure as always. It's taken us a while, but we got ourselves a long, nice show tonight. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much. And to everyone else, thanks so much and have a great rest of your evening.